Do you want to take advantage of multiple light and darkness subclass abilities while also being able to keep up your transcendence bar all the time? Well, check out this new Prismatic Hunter build that I've just created. It's a really solid all-around setup I've been using in some endgame content, legend campaigns, lost sectors, stuff like that. It's really solid for the fact that it uses renewal grass, gives us a solid amount of damage reduction all the time, while also letting us be able to use our transcendence pretty much anytime we want to. But before we get into the video, know you can follow me over on YouTube and Twitter at Byrdman778. Give a thumbs up on this video. Let me know some of you're interested in seeing down below, whether it's Hunter, Titan, or Warlock. Subscribe, become a member, and also check out the dim link down below, as well as the maxroll.gg page, where me and a lot of other creators have some awesome builds set up for you already. Now, let's jump right on into it. So obviously for the setup, we are using the Renewal Grasp. I'm a big fan of these because of the fact that it's just all around damage reduction. It's really grenade focused. The Depths of Dustfield ability gives you a much larger effect radius on your Dustfield grenade. It also adds a little stasis crystal in the middle of it, while also now, as of the final shape and updates to stasis in addition to frost armor, gives you frost armor for you and your allies while you stand inside of it. It's just going to be a continuous uptick of it. So as long as you're standing inside of it, you're going to see it go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then when it's at 5, it's just going to stay at 5. The countdown won't go down until that Dustfield dome goes away from you. For the Prismatic subclass, we are going to be using Golden Gun. Now, this is great because not only because it's just a good damage super, but it's also going to work in conjunction with one of our fragments to give us a constant regeneration of restoration for ourselves, so that we're able to keep our health up all the time. Abilities, I recommend Gambler's Dodge. I'm a big fan of this, just kind of all the time, mainly just for the fact I'm able to just get my melee charge back. But for most of the time, you're really just going to be using your class ability for one of our aspects. For our melee ability, we're going to be using Snare Bomb for this. I really like this because it's able to just kind of take enemies out of the fight whenever it explodes, but it's also going to weaken them. I really do think the weakening aspect of it is really nice, especially against bosses and stuff, in conjunction with one of the fragments we're going to talk about here in a minute. Now, for a grenade, obviously we need to be using that Dustfield grenade because it's the main thing that's going to be working with our Renewal Grasp. Again, I've always been a really big fan of this just for the fact it's able to just kind of lock down areas, freeze targets, slow them. It's got some good intrinsic stuff against overloads, good intrinsic stuff against unstoppables whenever you shatter them. It's just an all-around really solid grenade. For our aspects, we're going to be using Stylus Executioner. Big fan of this just because it's going to constantly kind of making us just invisible whenever we use our elemental debuffs on targets. Just being able to kind of add a little bit of end gaminess to this, just so we kill some targets, we're able to move backwards and kind of make ourselves invisible and just kind of get out of the fight real fast. And do though, if whenever you are invisible, you can follow up into a punch to weaken a target. Now, most of the time, you really won't be needing to do this, but at the same time, it's always just a great addition. And our other aspect is going to be Ascension. Now, I really have enjoyed using this one. This is one of the newer ones that were added for Hunter. While Airborne, consume your class ability energy to summon an arc staff, propelling yourself upward and creating a burst of energy around you that amplifies and jolts targets. Now, getting that extra amplify is just always great for you yourself, just able to add another buff to ourselves while also being able to do that jolting effect, so just kind of clear ads around us. Now, when it comes to the fragments, faceted protection is always a must because it's able to give us that solid damage reduction while we are surrounded by targets, and this is going to go great with one of the artifact mods that we have as well. Facet of Purpose, whenever we grab that overpower, we're going to get that restoration, meaning we're just going to have constant uptime on our health. You are going to be creating a lot of orbs of this just because of the weapon that we're mainly using for this setup. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Facet of Grace is going to be the next one. Defeating targets with kinetic weapons give us that transcendence energy, and doing with our super will do it as well. The main weapon we're using with this setup is a kinetic weapon, so again, it's going to be really helpful with getting that transcendence bar just instantly juiced up. Facet of Hope, while you have an elemental buff, your class ability regenerates more quickly. We have a couple of these that are going to be constantly applied to us, so this is great. I know this one's been a little funky for people, so let me know now in the comments if you are still having issues with this. Do you know if I had to kind of swap this out for anything, it'd be something like Facet of Balance, so that we're able to just kind of get some better all-around energy for ourselves. And then finally, Facet of Courage. Your Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets afflicted by darkness debuffs. This one's probably the biggest, best part is just going to be in regards to our super, as well as that Ascension. Being able to, just kind of throw that Dustfield grenade down and do that arc staff kind of spin is just going to absolutely just nuke everyone around us. The main weapon I recommend for this setup is going to be the Kvostov. Again, you do have to go through that bit of a grueling quest to get this, but once you get it, it is absolutely perfect in every way, shape, and form. It's perfect for ad clear. It does decent damage against like yellow bars and bosses as well. But one of the biggest things I like is the fact it's got that shoot to loot, so that we're able to kind of pick up orbs and ammo bricks around the area by just shooting at them. Again, really great for keeping that facet of purpose up a lot, so that we're able to shoot the orb and then get that restoration immediately. For my other weapons, I mainly just kind of like focus those depending on what I'm needing at that moment in regards to just like champs and stuff. So Indebted Kindness is great right now against Unstoppables. And then I always have like a Slammer on just so that I'm able to, well, one, this season be able to take on Overloads, but intrinsically is able to take on Overloads as well as Unstoppables because of the Cold Steel perk. Now, when it comes to all of the mods you're going to want on your armor, first up on your helmet, I'm going with a Kinetic Siphon so that I'm able to get those orbs of power off of my rapid Kvostov kills, always a really solid one, and a special ammo and a heavy ammo finder, just so I'm able to keep up that ammo economy pretty much all the time. Not really worried about my super, like doing anything with like hands-on or ashes to assets, purely off the fact that, again, most of the time our Transcendence will be able to kind of help fill up that bar for us. On our gloves, I'm doing a kinetic loader, so I got that better reload speed on my Kvostov, a boltering detonation so that my class ability will regenerate faster with causing damage with my grenades, so just that dust field as is going to help juice that back up for me, as well as a momentum transfer. Doing the same thing with my grenade is going to give me some melee cooldown for that snare bomb. Chest piece is always just going to be whatever you are really needing in regards to resistances. I just go with the basic light subclasses for it. On my legs, I'm going to be going with an innervation so that I'm able to get some extra grenade energy, recuperation, so I'm getting some health back when grabbing those orbs of power, and then a kinetic weapon surge so that I'm getting a 10% boost to my Kvostov when I have an armor charge. You will just base level be able to rack up 3 of those, each one of them lasting 10 seconds. And then finally on our Hunter Cloak, a Reaper, so that whenever I do that class ability, I'm going to get an orb power after I get a weapon kill, a Outreach so that I'm able to get that snare bomb back a little bit faster whenever I use my class ability, and then a powerful attraction to pull in all those orbs of power whenever I do that. Now, when it comes to the artifact, big things that I kind of want to harp on. First up, an Elemental Siphon, so that whenever I get those Kvostov kills, I'm going to get a fire sprite that's going to pop up whenever I get kills, so it's just great for adding energy to myself. In the fourth column, all 3 of the prismatic perks were going to be needed. First up, Void Hegemony, being able to get that overshield whenever I weaken targets. Obviously, that's going to be pretty much all the time with that snare bomb. Radiant Orb, so I'm going to become Radiant whenever I pick up an Orb of Power. And then Galvanic Armor, I'm going to be Amplify most of the time after using that Ascension, so it's going to add a lot more damage reduction to me. And then in the 5th column, I'm going to be using Shield Crush. Now, this one's going to be kind of a back and forth, kind of just like use it as you see fit. It can be swapped out for Expanding Abyss if you're using something like an Edge Transit for damage. But no, on its like base level, it's solid because it's going to give you a good amount of energy back for your melee and for your grenade. And then also Transference, because you are going to be doing a whole lot of Transcendence activities and stuff in regards to this. So getting that extra damage on my melee and my grenade is great. And then also being able to do weapon kills, which is going to be like kind of the bulk of this build. Getting energy back for that is always nice. Now, in regards to how this is able to handle champions and everything, first up on our barrier, the biggest thing I would say here is just the fact that you're able to pick up orbs to become radiant through your artifact. So that Kvostov is a perfect weapon to do so. Unstoppables right now this season, again, I'm told you I'm going to be using the Indebted Kindness with this build, so this works for that. But do know we also have the ability to do shatter targets with our grenade if we are able to freeze them and then shatter them. Also, again, I'm using the Slammer, so Cold Steel perk is going to freeze them eventually and then shatter. And then finally on Overload, being able to do a jolt effect with our Ascension, do a slow effect with our grenade, and also be able to just take advantage of, again, Slammer this season is able to do Overload on its own, and then that Cold Steel perk intrinsically will slow them, which will also do that as well. Thanks so much for watching the video. Hope you guys really enjoyed. Again, let me know some of you're interested in seeing down below, whether it's Hunter, Warlock, or Titan. Subscribe, become a member, and follow me over on YouTube and Twitter at Byrdman778. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you have a great night, day, whatever it may be.